In the Emerald Isle, something unexplainable is happening. Tonight, prepare to witness the most frightening event in horror podcast history. A journey into the depths of horror history. First Class Horror presents the Class Horror Cast. Evil wears many masks, but pure horror wears only one. Support First Class Horror on Patreon for as little as $1. Can't get enough of the horror? Carve yourself a deal from official merchandise, only on Teespring. Join us on all social media at First Class Horror. We have such sights to show you.
Welcome to the Plastic Fangs Podcast.
The luck of the Irish is being packed and shipped to a little town in South Dakota whose luck may have just run out.
My ear! He got my ear!
You got the back door, right?
You can kill anything. What the hell are you? You just gotta know how to do it.
Leprechaun.
It kind of reminds you of that movie, The Leprechaun. Remember with that little guy who goes, I'm the Leprechaun. Garth, I'm the Leprechaun.
Cool it, okay?
I'm the Leprechaun.
Stop it, all right?
Don't try and steal me, Paco.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun? Say yeah!
Ah, sweetie, it's me. It's me. The
Yeah!
Leprechaun.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff. And it told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
Oh, my life is changing every day in every possible way. And oh, my dreams, it's never quite as it seems. Never quite as it seems. This is Tom Waits, and I'm here to welcome you to a very special St. Patrick's Day edition watch party of Leprechaun with Class Horror Cast and the Plastic Fangs Podcast. Come see me over at the 34th Street Bar, where I'll be playing me piano with Michael Shannon. This is Rodney Self, and welcome to a special St. Patrick's Day watch party of Leprechaun with Class Horror Cast. Aaron Doyle.
How are you? How's things?
Doing good. And of course,
hi, I'm John Ramsey.
John Ramsey. Yes, our good friend Tom Waits being able to play us in and sing, cover the Cranberries, by the way.
Oh, okay. I didn't I didn't know where that was. I'm sorry. I was like, what's going on here?
Now, Aaron, I'm sure you got that song, right? Because the Cranberries is like, I mean, that's a big thing in Ireland.
I'm actually surprised you managed to get that all worked out as an intro. That was quite good, to be honest.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Truth be told, I love the music, especially around St. Patrick's Day. So, like, you know, when March hits up, you know, I've got the Cranberries, I've got the Dropkick Murphys, I've got House of Pain, U2, and I'm just every Irish singer and you know, Irish kind of thing. You know, it's I pick up a Guinness or a Smithwick's or you know, Proper Number 12, you know, and you watch Conor McGregor and all that good stuff. You know, I every March, you know, that kind of happens. And of course, you gotta watch Leprechaun.
Yeah, that's probably my go-to thing.
Yes.
I am a huge Conor McGregor fan as well, I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everything you said. Bar the U2 thing, I would probably leave them out, to be honest. Not sure if that's controversial or not, but not a huge fan of U2. I like one song. Can't even. It's a song he wrote for his wife one time. I think he forgot her birthday. And he wrote
the sweetest
song.
thing.
Yes, I think it is.
Okay.
I was a fan of their crazy techno stuff in the 90s, discotheque.
Yes.
Everything else can pound sand.
You know, I dig Achtung Baby. I dig Joshua Tree. You know, I dig that song where the Edge is looking at the screen and it's like no, it's
not one. Oh, you're right.
It's the one Numb. It's Numb.
Numb. Yeah, that's it.
It's where Edge is like on the screen and he's like, you know, and then Bono comes in his ear and is like, I feel now, you know.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it, you know. I think ever since people were forced to have their album on their iPhone, the popularity has maybe waned for U2.
Just slightly.
Yeah, which it's funny because, you know, in my purchased music, which is not a lot because I do Spotify and stuff, that U2 album still there. So,
I can't figure out how to get rid of it.
I have a close friend, and his cousin was in a long-term relationship with Bono's niece.
Yes.
Which is random, pointless fact that nobody cares about.
Well, I care because
he has a big house in a place called Wicklow, and he would just host Christmas parties and stuff, and like there would be like hundreds of people invited. Now he would be nowhere near the party or anybody close to him, but it was just a house that he owned that he would put on some sort of Christmas dinner thing.
Yeah.
It was weird because he wouldn't even like. I was like, would he Skype in or like FaceTime and be like, "Hello, everybody"? Like, nope. It would just be, "Oh yeah, no, Bono paid for all this."
Yeah, I swear I saw Bono like in the other room, and it's like he could very easily get someone with big giant glasses and a leather jacket just walking around.
Mm-hmm. he walked through. You saw him. He went shh. He just kept on going.
But surprise, man! It's watch party time on this St. Patrick's Day,
2021,
and of course, the classic film Leprechaun from 1993.
Yes,
starring Jennifer Aniston. Pre-Friends, Jennifer Aniston, right? Yes.
Pre-nose job.
Yes.
Always gets brought up.
It does, right? It's a shame.
I can tell the difference. I mean, it's just like that. Oh, that's the same girl. Oh, got it.
Now, Leprechaun, of course, is available all over the place.
Yeah,
you can find it anywhere. I actually purchased it on Amazon, But I do know it's on the Peacock. If you got the Peacock, I think there's commercials. Unless
there's commercials if you don't have the the higher one. I got it on Vudu,
okay.
So I'll be streaming it on there today.
And Aaron, how are you watching Leprechaun?
YouTube again.
YouTube again. All
yeah,
right.
I have the movies on Blu-ray, and I have the old, like early 2000s Lionsgate box set. But yeah, I'll just rent it again. I'll give Mark Jones or whoever owns the rights now €3.
Yeah, there you go. Well, and that's the thing is that so Leprechaun came out in 1993, kicked off another horror franchise.
Yeah.
John, did you want to give a rundown?
Yeah, I got a list just before we start watching. This was the like the Helen of Troy. It launched 1,000 ships. This movie, part 2. Well, sorry, let me do it proper. Leprechaun Part 2 from '94. Leprechaun Part 3, 1995. Leprechaun Part 4 in Space, 1997. Leprechaun Part 5 in the Hood featuring Ice-T from 2000. Leprechaun Part 6 Back to the Hood in 2003. Now, then there was about a 9-year gap. Warwick Davis left the franchise. Then Dylan Hornswoggle Postel takes over the titular role in Leprechaun Origins in 2014.
Horrible film. Sorry, no,
it's all good.
It was that movie was actually produced by the WWE when they had their movie line, movie company, and not what I expected. Because you hear Hornswoggle is going to be the Leprechaun, you're thinking,
sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt, and they done a really good job. At one point, like I actually enjoyed Kane's movies, See No Evil and See No Evil 2. But it seems like after maybe 2 or 3, I wouldn't call them hits, but they were okay.
Yeah,
they done a really good job at ruining their movie division.
They did. Yeah,
really quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean because they had action movies with John Cena, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, who is now John Moxley. They released tons of movies that were actually very profitable because people at Walmart would buy the DVDs and rent the movies and stuff like that. And
look, Randy Orton slithering in this one. I need to buy
it. Yep. But I think Leprechaun Origins may have killed the WWE studios.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And then in 2018, we got another one, Leprechaun Returns. Again, they changing the Leprechaun actor again, being portrayed by Lyndon Porco this time around. And it's been 3 years now since the last Leprechaun movie, so that's pretty good. That's a lot. It's going on 30 years. That's pretty good. I it's more than I've done in 30 years, so they're doing something, I guess.
And Leprechaun Origins, Returns, was that made strictly for straight for sci-fi, I believe, or yeah. So it was, Leprechaun Returns was made for the Sci-Fi Channel, and I remember when it came out, it was a big deal because, it was a couple years ago, right, when it came out?
Yeah, it was 3 years ago, yeah.
So, and I just remember it because, they were really playing up the St. Patrick's Day and Leprechaun and everything that year.
And isn't that like how they did like the Halloween 2018? It's just, forget all these other movies. This is the direct sequel to Leprechaun 1993. So you got that going for it. So forget all that other stuff. He was never in space. Just go with this one.
Aaron, which one out of the lot would you say is your favorite?
Probably this one.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest, I actually do like a lot of the rest of the movies as well. Like they get worse, obviously, as they go on. They get more and more ridiculous. My least favorite, or the one I find next to impossible to actually sit through, is number 4 in space. That is such a tough watch. well, no, actually, I don't consider Origins part of the franchise at all. I just despise that movie. But if we were to include that, I would say that's my least favorite.
Sure.
But if we're talking from the original series, number 4 is just such a tough watch, and I want to like it just because it's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like, oh god, there's some scenes in there I cannot sit through. It's just awful. so bad. What about you guys?
I've only for the first time I've watched this movie last week. And I think I caught bits. Someone had rented it on DVD years ago for In the Hood, because I said, you're lying. That's not a real movie. Then they put it on and went, oh my God. So yeah, I only saw bits of it. So those are those only two I've kind of what I've watched out of the franchise. Rodney?
I think the original, probably, because it was so weird because, Jennifer Aniston was in it, and it's seeing, I guess, such a big star, kind of like with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger in the Texas Chainsaw Next Generation. It's just kind of weird when you see, such a big star kind of, just kind of come from that.
It's like John Travolta and The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he was in that. Okay.
Right. But my second has to be Leprechaun in the Hood, because a friggin' flute, man, a flute. it's just silly. It's a flute. Oh god,
it actually worked quite well when you tell somebody, and I think they give the reaction of, no, that's not real. That can't be real. This cannot be a real thing.
Right.
But they actually work a lot better than you would think. I mean, you have to go into the movie knowing that it's a movie called Leprechaun in the Hood, so you're gonna get exactly what that says. It's
There's no lying.
It sounds.
There's truth in advertising on that title.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like it's just so. I think it's so ridiculous. You're going in with the expectation there's a leprechaun going to be in the hood.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, I mean, and I'll tell you, it does come as advertised. I mean, it's not like they're saying that Jason takes Manhattan when he's
he's only there for 20 minutes.
Yes. So yeah. Well, you know what? Let's kick off this St. Patrick's Day, and we're gonna watch Leprechaun. I've got it queued up, and I'm gonna hit play. Ready for me to count down here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, 3 and a 2 and a 1, go. And of course, we got the Lionsgate logo, which I always think of Saw when I see the Lionsgate logo.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I think of House of a Thousand Corpses, but not this one. But when I hear Lionsgate, that's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
But let's see here.
It's a very elaborate opening.
Yes. I'll kind of. Here he is, Warwick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of go over the stats real quick. Of course, this is an American horror comedy movie. The budget was $1 million. The box office was $8.6 million. So that's pretty darn good. And it was written and directed by Mark Jones.
And it did get a nationwide release, right?
Yeah, yes, it did. Yeah, it wasn't select cities. Yeah, it was, but I mean, of course, it wasn't. It wasn't like Avengers or anything like that.
And of course, the pot of gold. Yes.
So this movie had been shopped around. I think originally he wrote the script in 1988, and the movie was shopped for like 3 years, I think, and basically every single studio said no.
I wonder why.
And Trimark was new at the time, and they were willing to try it just because of the fact that we had never had a Leprechaun movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the original script was a lot more horror-esque, along the lines of Origins.
Yeah.
But like with obviously this Leprechaun, but it was a lot more serious. There wasn't really any one-liners and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think when Davis came on board, they kind of decided the Leprechaun needs something. We want to make him like Freddy, kind of, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it works. I don't know how well it would have been received if it had been just straight horror.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, it wouldn't have been as memorable, that's for sure. It probably would have never made any of the sequels because everyone's like, hey, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that guy going to say? What's the little dude's going to say today? Oh, this actor is Shay Duffin as Daniel O'Grady.
Who loves his Jameson's Irish whiskey, by the way. Yeah.
See, is that his real hair? Because I thought it was when I first saw it, I was like, is that a wig? But I'm thinking this is real hair. It just looks like a wig. Shay Duffin, he was an Irish character actor of stage and screen, and he was in the 1993 film Leprechaun with Jennifer Aniston, of course. He was also in Titanic. Yeah. Here are a few of the movies that guy was in. The White Buffalo with Charles Bronson, Raging Bull, he played a ring announcer. Memoirs of the Invisible Man, John Carpenter film. Titanic, he played a pub keeper. Seabiscuit, he was in that, and he was also in The Departed.
Dun dun.
That lady,
dun dun.
Her name is Pamela Mant. She's a character actor too. She wasn't in a whole lot of movies. Who plays the wife? She just goes by Mrs. O'Grady. But the biggest thing that I recognize her from was she played a nun in the movie Freaked with Alex Winter.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, hey, she was one of the nuns in the front row.
It's not me mother's ashes. What? Oh.
Okay, so this whole build up here is about him saying, like, okay, I made a deal. Well, I tricked the leprechaun and I got his gold. I would have liked to have seen that. That whole, like, how did he trick him? How did he do this? How did he do that? But I mean, again, it's a low budget movie.
There's a real fun movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, called Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yes.
Now,
Sean Connery.
Yep.
Yes.
Now streaming on Disney Plus.
Really?
Yes. Yes,
wow.
it is.
That used to fascinate me as a kid because, like, especially over here, we genuinely believed at the end of a rainbow, you had the leprechaun's pot of gold.
Oh yeah,
that this was all a real thing. And I remember being young, seeing that movie, and like we would go to like the west of Ireland where it's like super rural, and it was all that kind of thing. Still, everything seemed very old fashioned, and like I would be convinced that we would see a leprechaun or little people. And like everybody was like that when I was young. It was the thing.
I think we're like that too, because I know, like, oh look, that's where the gold's at the end. So I think that's something that captures the imagination of children, leprechauns, and yeah, like the pot of gold and stuff.
And of course now it's Lucky Charms cereal around this time of year. They'll have like the box can turn into a leprechaun trap. It's like that's the thing.
Really?
Yeah. Over the years, like, I mean, and I had never heard about it, but my son, as he's grown up, has been like, oh, there he is.
There goes Mrs. O'Grady. She has broke her neck twice on that fall. Sorry.
Ouchie. Yep. It's they make like at school they would make boxes that would be like leprechaun traps and stuff like that, and the leprechaun would play little tricks and stuff like that leading up to St.Patrick's Day. It was that kind of thing.
All I cut was roaches in mine. I left food in there. But let's see here. Yeah, they don't explain. I mean, they just go, "Yes, I tricked them." Now, how? Okay, maybe I missed something, because so he followed him all the way from. He tricked him in Ireland and followed him all the way to Nebraska. Is that what happened here?
I imagine.
Okay.
That's what they're getting at.
Because I was just like, okay. So did he like jump on the plane, like Twilight Zone, like the gremlin, on the wing? And he's just like, I want to know how that worked.
Seeing where he went in the sequels, I wouldn't put it past them to have him sitting in economy. on a flight to the States, to be honest.
Well, he's got gold, even though he doesn't want to depart with it. But I can see him. I can see him just up in first class.
So, see what's happening right here with the 4-leaf clover.
I was going to ask you, what is this?
Just to clear this up for everybody.
Okay.
This is not actually part of the lore of real leprechauns.
Right.
This is something that was made up for the movie. When Mark Jones sat down and he was writing the script and coming up with a character or his version of a leprechaun, he noticed that every kind of universal monster has its thing. You know, Dracula has it could be a cross or a stake or silver or whatever, daylight. So they wanted something that the leprechaun would be, but they wanted something iconic. That's where they came up with, because I think in the later sequels when he stepped back and Trimark took over, I want to say they changed it to iron or something. He was
that sounds okay.
They got rid of the clover completely and they said it was like, I think iron he was like afraid of or something.
Because I think my only my only knowing of folklore, I guess maybe Celtic folklore, it would be from reading Hellboy comic books with Mike Mignola. And I remember, he used an iron horseshoe on a kid because fairies had taken the real kid and then put an imposter. And he was like, "Come here, you little bastard." And he hit him with the iron. He was like, "No." So, I was like, "Oh, that sounds familiar."
And that's actually pretty smart. You know, I mean, having a 4-leaf clover as kind of like the deterrent.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Yeah, I dig it.
See, I didn't even know that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Look at this guy.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember what the real life, if you want to call it, lore of like a leprechaun's weaknesses are.
Well, I was going to ask you what you know, because all I know is pot of gold, rainbow. It belongs to Leprechaun. I don't know how he got there or why a leprechaun exists. Like what is of the folklore that you know? Like,
it's funny. I used to know a lot about this as a kid because it was like one of those things where everybody was so convinced that these were real. I do know that they originated, I think, as shoemakers,
cobblers, shoemakers. Essentially, they're a type of fairy.
Oh, okay. And then because fairies are usually like they're malevolent, right? They're like they're all like well, not say evil, but they got ulterior motives.
Mischievous.
Yes. Okay. Because I'm like my ignorance is knows no bounds. So I'm like, let me ask, why does that exist? But if it's part of the fairy folklore, then okay, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, in that they're kind of like a solitary creature, and basically it's just making and cobbling shoes and making practical jokes, and they have gold. So
it was never like I remember being told, when we were kids, it was never. Nobody was ever really afraid of leprechauns,
right?
But it was kind of like if you try and mess with a leprechaun's gold or you try and capture a leprechaun, they will mess with you.
Sure. Yeah.
Basically, exactly like Darby O'Gill and the Little People. The way that the guy is in that, and he keeps tricking them and doing all that stuff to him, and he's getting them to waste his wishes. That's kind of exactly how it was pitched here in real life. That's what would happen. They wouldn't kill you or anything, but they're a lot smarter than you are.
They were the Macaulay Culkin of folklore entities.
Yes.
Well, here's you can hear the voiceover of Jennifer Aniston. I'm going to refrain from saying Aniston. So there's one. So but yeah, of course, best known for Friends. But Warwick Davis said in an interview, I forgot what the talk show was. It was a British talk show, that she denies that she was ever in this film, even though this is her film debut.
Yes.
Shaggy Man with Alan Carr is the name.
That was it. That was exactly it. That was it.
Now, the person playing the father here also played Zach Morris's father on Saved by the
Really?
Bell. Yes.
This is who is this guy? This is John Sanderford as JD Redding. Spoilers, they take him out of the story pretty quick, probably in the next 20 minutes. If you've never seen this, sorry. But I think they just used his character as like, oh, this is how they get here.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I am not a fan of Jennifer Aniston.
I could take her or leave her. I don't really. Because doing a little bit of research, apparently since the 90s, she's been one of the world's highest paid actresses. And from leading roles have grossed 1.6 billion worldwide, with 12 of those earning at least 100 million at the box office. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know people who like Friends. Why would you say that? Why would you say that about her? But I'm like, she's yeah. I mean, I don't hate her or anything like that. I don't think she's a bad actress, but I'm just like, she kind of plays the same character unless she's being mean.
A little bit. I mean, I can't think of a movie where that's a Jennifer Aniston movie that I'm just like, I really dig her or her performance in it. It's like she's always shown up, in a movie as a side character, supporting character. Of course, one of my absolute favorite comedies that she is in is Office Space.
Yeah, I did like her in that.
Yeah.
But then I think, well, could someone else have played her and done a better job or equivalent? Probably. But,
But I mean, it's kind of crazy because even Kevin Bacon, will admit his horror origins. Matthew McConaughey has even talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the fact
he's from Texas. Yeah. Texas will brag about Texas no matter what. Right. Remember we had that guy shooting people from that tower? Yeah. Texas. So yeah, they'll talk about it. So hold on, okay. Oh yeah, sorry. The crate, because I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh right. Yeah, this is when. What was she referring to her cell phone as? Her what was she calling it? She's not her mobile. She was calling it something else. A very 90s term. I forgot though. Oh, there's Ken.
Yes.
This actor who plays Nathan Murphy is Ken Olant. Eagle-eyed viewers will recognize him from it wasn't a horror movie, but 80s movie Summer School that had horror movie elements in it. Yeah. And apparently he starred in a TV series called Super Force. Did anyone hear about? Did anyone watch this? I never knew about it. I was like, ooh.
It sounds like a TV show like title. It's like,
Super Force.
Hey, that movie Delta Force is really popular. Let's have a TV show, but call it Super Force.
But this is super.
Mm-hmm.
That happened a lot back then, actually. Like when Maniac Cop became successful, and then they had Psycho Cop.
Yeah.
Yes. That wasn't Trauma. I don't know who that was, but it was it was a low budget. Yeah. The production company, but yeah, and then they had a sequel.
Yeah, because it's like a low budget of a low budget. Like,
yeah,
how low can this budget go?
Yeah,
it's funny as well that like the whole. So there's a line in the movie that mentions a particular cereal.
Oh,
and a lot of people think that there was this whole backstory to that. So the inspiration for this whole movie came from a Lucky Charms commercial, apparently.
Ah,
yes.
So there is some truth, I think, to some of the stuff, but there's a line later on in the movie that says "fuck you, Lucky Charms," and a lot of people think it's because there was this whole thing with, I think, is it General Mills?
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently that's all bullshit, and that never happened.
Really? Yeah, because it was supposed to be like they gave permission for him to
and
use.
they took it after they saw the movie.
They went, "Oh no, we're not associated with
apparently
this."
Trimark's legal department told Mark Jones and all the guys beforehand, you need to make that something else. We're not even we're not going down that road at all. So just make it, I don't know what it's called, Lucky Clovers.
Lucky Clovers, yeah. Which, by the way, is also a prop. During the same time on the Ben Stiller show, they did a YouTube parody on the Ben Stiller show called Lucky Clovers. and they had that same box. I'm like, I wonder if that's the same production company.
Now here we're meeting Ozzy, who is portrayed by Mark Holton, who you've seen in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and
that's right, Buxton.
Yes.
Don't forget Teen Wolf 2.
Teen Wolf 2 as well. Naked Gun. It was about Enrico. It's Enrico Palazzo, or just remember him when he delivered that line. But he's been in so much, and when you think
he's a character actor, yeah,
you think 80s. He's one of the actors that you see, but he's done Seinfeld and. So much. And of course, the kid is the kid from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yes. His name is Robert Gorman. He plays Alex Murphy. So I was confused when I watched this last week. I was like, what is the relationship? So those two guys work with Nathan, the guy who's painting. So I didn't realize that. I just thought one was a handyman and two guys were, a kid and a slow adult were painters. I didn't realize they're all together. Oh, there's Warwick. Yeah. Biding his time.
and that's actually kind of a creepy shot of the leprechaun just chilling.
What do you guys think of the look of the leprechaun?
I think he's cool. I think they did a good job with the effects and the makeup and everything. It's creepy.
I mean, I never questioned it when I as a kid seeing the trailer and everything. I was like, well, I mean, if you're gonna make a killer leprechaun, I mean, it looks good. I mean, yeah, look at that. He's got the beard. He's got the hat. He's got the he's got the striped socks going. I mean, he's got the look.
Yeah, I didn't know until recently that one of the big points of contention apparently was the shoes he wears. Oh. So they fought with the studio a lot to get those high-heeled buckle shoes. And apparently it was one thing that the director and the guy who ended up doing the prosthetics and the costume, it was one thing that they just didn't want to give up. And even later on in the sequels, Trimark straight away were like, yeah, we got to lose the shoes because we're getting a lot of feedback that it's too creepy to see a man in high-heeled shoes with buckles. And Warwick Davis was the one who said, he was like, well, I'm not doing it then. If you're going to take the shoes, I need to keep the shoes. It's part of the costume. It gets me in character. And they left it because of that.
They were like his Jordans, man. You can't mess with them. It's got to be the shoes.
It does make his walk and everything. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like this weird hobble.
He clops with them. Yeah.
It makes
like
it
a horse.
Freaky.
Did I miss it already? Did he already eat the roach? Yeah, I think there was a roach on the ground. He already, because he's chilling in this crate. But actually, I did a little bit of like looking up on Warwick Davis, and I could kind of hit the high points on him. His first acting gig was, well, the big one was Star Wars.
Yeah,
he played Wicket, of course, in Jedi Return of the Jedi.
The Ewok.
Yeah, with the Ewok. And then after that, he did a few like the TV movies, reprising the role as Wicket on ABC. They did like 3 of them, I think. And then after that, he got Willow, and it was written for him. He was in mind for the part when they were coming up with the idea. It was under Ron Howard, had Val Kilmer. Now, his personal life, since he's a little person, he said the only real drawbacks to being small was associated with health problems. So, and I was like, I didn't know. I had no clue. And He said that he goes as I get older, it gets worse. You know, his joints for a start, and his hips are dislocated. So yeah, he as he goes further down the road, he's been having health problems. So that's probably another reason why he didn't reprise the role when they did Leprechaun Origins. So because I was like, why didn't he come back? He could do it, but I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, he's been part of 3 huge franchise. Well, 2, and if you include Leprechaun, 3. Star Wars, Leprechaun, and the Harry Potter franchises. So that's pretty good. Not many other people can say that. That's pretty big, except for like Lucas, I guess.
I watched an interview with him recently, and
there's the roach. She's eating the roach.
Oh, my bad.
He said that when he does conventions, that Leprechaun is the character that he gets asked about and gets asked to impersonate the most. Also, when you mentioned Star Wars, I think he was still under contract with Lucasfilms during this. Yeah. So George Lucas has a producer credit or something.
They got a special thanks to him.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Trimark, they gave a special thanks to, I said, 2 unlikely public figures. One was George Lucas because, like you said, he was under contract. So it was like, he can go do this, but nothing else. He can go do this movie. And the other special thanks was U.S. Vice President Dan Quayle, which I was like, what? Because he was given a special thanks in the credits for expediting Warwick Davis's work visa so he could legally work on the film in the U.S. So I was like, holy cow. That's because I was like, that's random. That's pretty cool.
The reason as well that he ended up taking this job is actually kind of sad, the backstory.
Oh.
So after Willow, his career kind of goes a bit quiet for a while. He's not really into much. And when they had him in mind, he was like the person they wanted for Leprechaun. And they reached out to him and they were kind of back and forth. But at the time, his wife had just lost a child. She had just had a miscarriage. And the reason that he took the job and everything went the way it did and they wanted to get him so bad was what he felt like, and they felt like that it would kind of bring him away from all that stuff. And I think they actually flew his wife out to be with him for the entire thing.
Oh, the entire shoot?
Yeah. They brought the 2 of them out.
See, I assumed that it was like offered to him and it was like the way to kind of like be like the star, the star of like, I mean, even though it's a lower budget compared to what he'd been on, but it's like, hey, I'm the number 1 name on it. So
yeah, and of course no one believes that Ozzy saw a leprechaun.
Well, I don't trust him. He do Pee Wee Herman. I don't trust him, man. I don't trust that man at all. Oh, but the what was the guy's name? Mark Holton. He also played John Wayne Gacy.
Yes,
in the movie Gacy, which I was like, oh right. So he technically, I guess I wouldn't consider Teen Wolf a horror movie.
No,
it's got the supernatural thing, but but yeah. So this, Gacy I don't think he was in any other really bigger horror movie. Or Leprechaun Returns. He reprises his role in that apparently as Ozzy.
Here's a sound, I guess, that's fitting for this episode.
There it is. Yep. Popping open a cold one on this St. Patrick's Day.
This movie actually made a huge amount of money in VHS sales. So after it came out, I think it made about 8 million, I think you said earlier.
Yes.
So it made overall afterwards, when it was released on video, it made between 12 and 15 million.
Yep. Yeah, it was more than 100,000 copies sold.
Yeah. And I think they actually managed to secure a deal, from what I gather. I listened to an interview with Mark Jones, and he said they had secured a deal beforehand for 86,000 tapes.
That's a lot.
Absolutely absurd.
That's a lot of
at the
tapes.
time.
Yeah.
They also done some stats. I think when the movie came out, they reckoned that on opening weekend they lost about $250,000 through younger audiences. Obviously, because it was an older rated movie, and everybody was crazy to see this. So it came out. I think it opened alongside Muppets. So kids would go and buy tickets from Muppets and then sneak into Leprechaun.
Wow.
So they were getting the numbers.
Yeah, they think they lost between 250 and 500,000 on the first 3 days.
Whoa!
Which at the time probably would have been like crazy amount.
That would have been insane. Yeah, yeah. Wow. 93. Oh hell yeah. Oh, there's the rainbow. Jesus. That he should. I wonder if he got stunt pay for doing that.
Oh, that rainbow.
Yeah, it didn't look very rainbowy.
No, not really.
Hey, I'd kill for that special effect if I was making a movie. What's the rainbow look like? I'll go with it. Sure. Oh yeah. I don't know if you had this in your notes, Aaron. That it was delayed. Did you already saw? You were talking about. I know you're talking about like it took forever for it to get released, but this was shot actually in December of 91 when they finished, but they weren't able to actually get it put out until 93. It got delayed for 2 years. And I'll read it exactly how I wrote it. Although principal photography finished in December of 91, the film was not released until January of 93. The long delay was due to Trimark's ambitious marketing campaign. To promote the film, Trimark tried to partner with the NBA and the American Stock Exchange. When Trimark failed to secure the corporate funding they sought, they reached out to Subway and Domino's Pizza. By the time Trimark found promotional partners, the movie had been completed for well over 1 year.
Wow.
This delay worked out in the long run, as individual franchises of Domino's and Subway did promote the movie and help build up a Leprechaun by word of mouth. So I was like, oh, so we could have got this around the same time Body Parts came out? What's up with that? But so that makes a lot of sense too, because I think Jennifer Aniston was saying she was kind of done in Hollywood, like going from the 80s into the early 90s. She was just getting bit parts, and this was along the way. And so imagine you're the female lead in this, even though it's a low budget horror movie, but it got delayed 2 years. So I can see why she was like, ugh. Like she was still struggling because stuff that wasn't coming out.
And we're seeing in this scene, Ozzy just swallowed the coin, which.
Oh, right. Sorry. The plot point.
Yeah. And they're like, we're going to hide the coins in the old well house. And, it's.
This kid is telling him we could use this money to get your brain fixed. Yeah, that's not insulting at all.
Right. That way people won't make fun of you. Jesus. God.
You would never get away with this now.
No, not at all. I thought this. I went, that's right. that plot point didn't age well.
No.
I mean, but this really does kind of, set up, everything, and
it does.
Yes.
And, I mean, okay. And look, okay, what are they painting this house red, white, and blue? Because this looks gonna look bad.
Looks the same color as the rainbow.
Oh, there you go.
You're right. Yeah, there you go.
So, okay. To get us up to speed, the Leprechaun is out.
He's out of the box.
He's literally out of the box. And okay, I get that he's supposed to be a cobbler by trade, but I think he really does he just has a shoe fetish, not a foot fetish. I think he has a shoe fetish. Because he's all up on Jennifer Aniston's LA Gears right now.
Yep. Well, that's the thing too, man. I noticed the kid was wearing Reebok pumps, man. I mean, You know, it's.
I mean, it was for the times, yeah.
Yeah, LA Gear, Reebok pumps. I mean, those were the shoes back in the day. And of course, the leprechaun just scratched her leg, and again, no, it's probably just a possum. You know?
Yeah, they don't have rabies.
Just a lot of alluding to, something's a bit off, something's a little awry that's going on, but it's definitely not a leprechaun.
No.
I don't know why, but I really can't stand her in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's
I don't
whiny.
know what it. Yeah, I think that's what, and maybe that's just because she plays the part really well. But like, oh god, I just want to see her get like her eyes gouged out or something.
Oh, this special effect here made me laugh when I saw it. It's gonna pop up here in the next few seconds. Okay. Not his bloody hand, but this next one coming up. Check it. There it is. That was so bad.
So bad.
So right here, the father gets bit by the leprechaun. And who, by the way, who puts their hand in a knot that deep in a hole? Because there could have been a snake. And it also reminded me of Flash Gordon. Did everyone here watch the movie Flash Gordon?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Remember that they put their hand in that stump and that creature. If you pull your hand out, that's what it reminded me of. I forgot the name of the creature. But yeah, this whole plot point is just to get rid of the dad. So now they're on their own.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it is. There it is. Oh god, just everything about Leprechaun is just so good.
Yeah,
you speed up anything, it's funny. That's why Benny Hill was great.
There's a scene coming up soon that's kind of sped up as well, I think, and it's just so good.
Oh yeah, it's
my god. I actually forgot that was in this movie.
What, the tricycle part?
No, the bit that's coming up.
Oh,
soon.
the one.
Yeah. And he's just like, look, I got a gold coin. Open up. Yep.
This
so convenient.
Like
coin store.
Yeah, because every town has a friggin' coin store.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That was the craze. Yeah, this guy right here, if he looks familiar to you, he was on the TV show Newhart. He played one of the brother Darryls. This is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. John Ole Volstad. He was born in Norway. But I was like, why? What have I seen him in? He was like, if you ever saw the movie Joysticks from the early 80s, he was one of the little henchmen of Joe Don Baker that was trying to destroy the arcade that was in town. So yeah, I was like, why does he look so familiar? I was like, oh, that's who he was. Okay. But yeah. It's but yeah.
I mean, and there you go. Ozzy, has swallowed the coin. And you'd think that it would come out eventually, right?
Well, probably the next morning.
Yeah.
Now, this set, I'm going to guess it was built or was already like a pre-existing set, because I was like, where's the door? And are they down in the basement because they got stairs? Or are they not they're just not showing the storefront because it doesn't exist? Because that's where all the camera equipment is. Because you look at it, I'm like, what am I looking at here? Where's the front of the store? Or are we down in the basement? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they're definitely down.
Because I got claustrophobic. I'm like, where are we? Right. I forgot about this scene. all this is doing, all the sound effects, this is just padding out the scene to help make it a little bit longer, to help meet that 90-minute quota.
Yeah, and for anyone who watches this movie along with this commentary is gonna know exactly, the laughs will queue up exactly with what's on screen, so you'll be like, yes. Yeah. It is one of those movies as well where you just find yourself like, I like zone out and I'm like, what is even happening right now? I don't get who made this decision. Why is this happening?
Booyah!
Surprise!
That's my favorite part about him as well, when he doesn't have the hat, that haircut.
Yeah.
He just looks like a little kid didn't brush his hair. It's like I've met kids like that growing up, like, they got all the sticky broken toys. I don't trust that kid.
And I don't mean this statement in an offensive way, but I love his costume and the high-heeled shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever way they make his body look shaped, it's just like, it's so creepy and ridiculous looking.
It is, sorry.
Yeah. Dude's getting killed by a pogo stick.
Yeah, for those at home that are not watching this, the dude who owns the coin shop just got killed by a pogo stick on his chest. And he's cleaning his shoes.
Yeah.
He's putting blood on his shoes.
Nice and shiny. Oh, God.
He'll bounce back in no time.
I would go as far as to say that some of Leprechaun's one-liners over the franchise are like right up there for me with things like Freddy Krueger and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He does have a lot of...
He's some zingers.
Yeah.
Of course, now the Leprechaun has a car, right? You know,
he has motorized vehicle now. He's unstoppable now. Oh, yeah, I can see why you really don't care for Jennifer Aniston in this movie, because this scene is like, she's complaining about everything. It's like every bad relationship I've ever had. Oh, you don't like the food? Okay.
I want to give her credit and say it's just because she's such a good actress, but like, she's just so fucking moany. It's actually unbelievable.
But therein lies does that mean that she's doing the job right then?
Yeah.
So yeah,
possibly.
There he is. Leprechaun's got a new whip.
And of course, police officer. I mean,
just his whole thing is just like,
what am I looking at?
Of course, he's got his coffee and donut.
First off, that thing wasn't even going over 20. Why would you pull that little guy over? It makes no sense. You know what? This cop had it coming. This is harassment.
I don't know how you could look at this movie and like not laugh or just think that like that this movie's just fun.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, watching it by yourself for the first time in your 40s, like myself, I'm like, what? But with friends, yeah, I can. Yeah, it's a different experience.
Jeez,
Isn't so dumb. He thinks he's a kid.
I'm 600 years old.
I'm 600 years old.
It's just the dialogue between the two of them there. It's just ridiculous.
Oh,
he got him. Got him by the face. That's an illegal move. Oh, I love it. He looks at it. He still has the gun.
Yeah, he ain't laughing now, is he?
Oh man. I mean, there's a certain formula. You're supposed to have a certain amount of kills every certain minutes. So it'd been a while since we had some blood, but we didn't have a kill. So yeah, we still have a bit to go. But there was the kill of the old lady in the beginning. Then here's the plot. Here's the Evil Dead camp.
Yeah. And we're going to get more of this kind of Evil Dead kind of can, but it's like, it's funny because you're in the POV of the leprechaun and you're.
Yeah, there he goes. Oh, my original security guard outfit looked exactly like that cop's outfit. By the way, FYI. Wore the
my favorite thing is just him running in those shoes
and the white socks.
Yeah, it's just...
Look at it! Look at him go! Look at them little legs. They're going.
Oh, those leprechaun shoes with the buckles are so good.
See, now this was actually a pretty well framed shot. Mm-hmm. You got him in the background with the. And when I watched this, I was like, "Oh, is he going to get him? Is the leprechaun going to get that cop out in the woods?" Man.
I mean, it's just the tension. You could cut it with a knife.
You can taste it. It's palpable. Yes. Man. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the director, Mark Jones, the writer director. He had a career in American television shows. Oh yeah, you'd already mentioned this earlier. He had a desire to make a film, and he based this off of Lucky Charms, which you talked about earlier. Entertainment Weekly quoted the budget was just under $1 million in an interview with Fangoria magazine. Jones said he began writing. Oh yeah, he already had. Man, I'm already going over everything you had. Darn it! I'm sorry, I'm repeating stuff. Go ahead.
He also wrote when he worked in TV, he was a writer on Scooby-Doo for a long time, and that was his original vision for this movie. He wanted it to play like a horror leprechaun feature-length Scooby-Doo story.
So it would have been a group of kids being chased by this little guy.
And it's funny because it's like when you think a franchise or a series of movies can't get any more ridiculous, like there just always seems to be something else with this franchise. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years back, there was a Kickstarter started by Mark Jones for a movie called Leprechaun. And he
my God.
Yeah. And this is a real thing. He's been quoted on interviews several times. This is something that's still in the works. That's going to happen. He said 100% is going to happen.
Wow.
He trademarked the name, everything. So it was actually greenlit at one point. And I don't know. He didn't give the full story. So the leprechaun gets bitten by Dracula or a vampire. And then he chases red gold. It's gold made from vampire blood.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't like the whole thing sounds ridiculous to the point where I actually really want to see it. And there's a really badly cut together trailer on Vimeo or somewhere. It's still online at the minute. It's like a 40-second trailer. It's awful. But
how do you say the name of this movie again?
Vamprecon.
Vamprecon.
I think it's but this is something that's like he's still actively trying to get this. It had been greenlit at one point a couple of years back, and I can't. Basically, what happened was he worked with a guy called Lance Thompson. This is actually a kind of a famous court case thing that went on 2 years ago, maybe. He was or from what he thought, he was some sort of a lawyer or something like that, an attorney, and he had helped him secure financing on a movie he done before called Scorned, and they were going to a business meeting about that movie. And I think on the way there, Jones mentioned to him just vaguely about this idea. And then when it all got greenlit and everything was going ahead, this guy tried to claim that he was like the whatever. He was like, yeah, we came up with that's our idea. We came up with that. And they were like, no, you're not on this project. You were just, and he was like, no, I created that character. Do you remember the thing? And so they actually had to go to court. And then when they went to court, it turns out that the guy didn't actually have an attorney's license or anything. And he was just some bullshit artist. And yeah, Mark Jones had to sue him. I think he sued him for like $3 million and won.
Wow. But that's a waste of time and money.
That was 2 years ago, I think. But he still said that the plan is to actually make that movie.
Wow.
Yeah,
There's a Lucky Clover.
Lucky Clover.
That whole story reminds me of anyone, like if you have a video on YouTube and someone goes, "Oh, that's mine," and they claim it. It's just like the exact same thing without a shred. Wow, that's Warwick Davis definitely steals the show in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We get a glimpse of his hair again. So ridiculous looking.
Look at him with these shoes. Yeah, you want to clean them. I think he's doing a little bit more with these shoes. If you know what I mean, I think you do.
It's funny because they don't really if you listen to any interviews about the movie, they mention the fact about the shoemaker thing in the backstory, but they never really explain it in the movie. And even in Leprechaun Returns, the newest one, there's a scene where he gets brains or some sort of guts on his shoe, and they make a point of like making it a thing. Like they zoom in on it, and he's kind of looking. He's like, "What's this?" And he takes out a thing, and he's like cleaning his shoes off. And it doesn't really. There's another scene where he puts shoes back in the closet, like properly. He stacks all the shoes properly, and it doesn't really. You would have no idea. Yeah.
He just has an OCD. That's
right.
Yeah, because like I remember looking at that scene even in Leprechaun Returns, and I was like, "Why the fuck is there an entire scene where he's carrying the shoes back in to the?"
What they could have possibly have done was they had more explanation, but we had to cut those scenes out because because we had to edit for time or whatever. So that's probably why that is, because why would you have that without explanation unless they're thinking everyone knows that he loves shoes.
There's a lot of I think outtakes and a lot of scenes that were cut out of this movie. And I think Mark Jones wants to cut together like a 30th anniversary edition of it and put all that into it. He reckons that he has like 14 hours of content.
Wow.
That he wants to put into like I could see possibly the 30th anniversary is in 2 years?
Well, yeah.
I could see Scream Factory trying to snap that up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
let them do all the special features.
I'd buy it.
Oh hell yeah.
Really cool artwork on the front.
Yeah. Get like Joel Robinson to do the artwork.
In my opinion, what Scream Factory have done recently, and if anyone somehow remotely connected to any of that, you can quote me for this fantastic idea. So do a 30th anniversary of Leprechaun with all those special features, and then do what they've done for My Bloody Valentine and stuff. Get NECA or whoever it is to tie in and make the first ever official Leprechaun figure and sell them together.
That would be great.
I never even thought of that. They've never made a figure of him.
Yeah, I'll only take 10% royalties for that idea.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there has not been a Leprechaun figure.
Yeah,
you get Chucky.
It's kind of like a no-brainer. I wouldn't. I never even thought of that. Holy cow! Yeah.
I know you probably couldn't. You couldn't sell them in like Spencer's or Hot Topic or anything, but among the horror community, I would imagine he would be quite popular.
Oh, I think you could easily sell. Yeah, like what's that? Hot Topic and stuff like that. You can definitely. Yeah, I mean, I remember when those Movie Maniacs came out. I was buying that at KB Toys back in like '99. So, those would sell honestly anywhere with like toys or whatever. They would go. They would go quick.
Now, funny you mentioned that, because if you do search, there is a petition on change.org for NECA to make a Leprechaun ultimate action figure. 408, now 410 out of 500 people have signed it. It is out there. It's on there. So I don't know how successful the change.org petitions are, but
I mean, I guess if there's a clamoring and they're like, well, if we make money off of it, and if they're going to go off the Warwick Davis thing, I guess I don't know. I mean,
they'd have to buy the rights.
Would that be his likeness, or would they have to go through Lionsgate? I guess,
Yeah, I would feel like whoever whoever they need to contact for that, it would be, if it were me that owned that franchise, I'd be trying to get as much merchandise, especially even something like for St. Patrick's Day. If you were to make a, I know Fright Rags do it and different places do Leprechaun t-shirts, and I was even looking for, there's a green Fright Rags Leprechaun t-shirt, and it's like impossible to get. Every time they bring it back out every year, it sells out like straight away. And I even messaged the guys that run it, and they're like, look, I can't. You got to just try and buy it, and if it's not there, sorry.
And you know what's funny? The other popular shirt around St. Patrick's Day is Silver Shamrock. You know, in fact, John and I actually both wore a Silver Shamrock T-shirt. Last night to the party without coinciding.
You didn't tell me what you're wearing. Right. I was so embarrassed.
Of course, his was green and mine was black with the green logo.
Yeah, mine was I got it years ago from Fright Rags. Yeah.
And these fight scenes are fucking hilarious, by the way. I mean, you're fighting such a small person. Yeah, and here he is again.
He's going right for it.
I mean, look, even the kid is getting in on the action. And
sorry, she's like, I'm gonna be in Friends. I'm hitting a little person with a stick. Oh yeah, Ozzy calling the cops.
I love that little interaction there so much.
Oh yeah.
Well, the guy playing the sheriff, I forgot that actor's name, but he's also in the original Stand miniseries that Mick Garris did.
Oh yeah.
He plays when they introduced Nick Andros' character. He's the doctor who's tending to him when he was all beaten up. Because I was like, hey, I recognize that actor. I don't know his name, but I know him. I know you're in the Stand, sir. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He shot him with a shotgun in his chest.
Now his character has a little bit of the Tommy from Friday the 13th Part 6 thing going on.
Nathan.
Yeah,
he does. I think what helps is also that Sherpa fringe on his
on his jacket.
His jacket.
He does actually. Yeah, I never noticed that till you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were going for that. They might have been going for that.
Little Tommy Jarvis inspiration there. Yeah.
Did she just curse there?
She said that was no fucking bear. Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Watching this again now, because I'll watch a movie before something like this, and I haven't this is my first time watching it again in a while. It makes me now want to stay up all night and watch all the rest of them because it's just so ridiculous. Like,
you didn't tell them it was a leprechaun, did you? Why, yes, of course.
Why wouldn't I? Of course I did.
Now, see, it makes sense that his leg is messed up because, I mean, he, if he was healthy, he probably would have beat the shit out of Leprechaun, and that'd be end of the movie, right?
Yeah, sure. Well, no, I mean, you can beat him up, but he doesn't. Yeah, like, okay, what are the qualifiers to injure him, the Leprechaun? Even counting the other movies of how he's been dispatched, because like so far in this movie, you can beat him up, but he truly cannot die. He's kind of an immortal. You can shoot him, you can stab him, you can because what the O'Grady do? He shot him and then threw him in the crate when he was all he's all tired. But then of course, the shamrock, the 4-leaf clover, he put it on top, and that's what kept him in the box for 10 years.
Yeah. So what if you took that shamrock and made it like when you made a bullet? I mean, and you shot the leprechaun. Would that make it explode?
But still, would it still be a 4-leaf clover anymore? Because if you've pounded it down,
True. What if you draw a 4-leaf?
I don't think it works like that. See, when I saw this shot, when they were showing underneath, I thought he's going to be hanging underneath, like in Cape Fear. I was going to be under the truck. Oh yeah, the whole plot point again. Yeah, they did all these little like plot points, like the distributor cap. Oh no, that's why we can't drive away. I always want, like, when they do that in movies, you're like, why is this character doing this random thing? Oh, because they're gonna bring it back.
Right.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm just looking up some stuff here about like if I were to try and kill the leprechaun, what would I use? So apparently, I don't know how true any of this actually is.
If you read it online, you know it's true, sir.
They're afraid of grained substances. If a grained substance is poured in front of a leprechaun, they are forced to count each individual grain, no matter how powerful they are. They're also afraid of cream. All types of fairies hate cream as it can intoxicate them. I've never heard of these.
I haven't heard of that either. But it's like, hey, it's like I've got a bucket of fucking rice, and you dump it out in front of the leprechaun, and it's like they have to count each individual piece, huh?
You know what? When you look at some of this franchise, that could actually be a sequel.
Yeah, it could
Just
be.
a leprechaun counting an entire packet of rice.
Because he clearly likes to count his gold.
Yes.
I do know that was something I'd forgotten about just earlier. I love that when he's running for
He's running away. They just burned his face with the friggin' the cigarette lighter. Yeah.
That was the thing I had forgotten to mention earlier. It was something that we had always been told growing up, was that if you ever catch a leprechaun or anything like that, or get his gold, when you do see him, you can never take your eyes off him again, or he'll disappear, and that's where he starts to trick you and do all that stuff.
How do you sleep? I guess it only works for one day.
And what he
has a pitchfork on the front of his little murder mobile.
Yeah.
What? He just flipped the truck with the go-kart.
I mean, did he just make that go-kart, or was it there?
Yeah,
or
no, he remembered that they were in town.
That's right. Okay.
He had some time.
Yes.
This is so stupid. But the whole the counting, like, of the grains, that's also a folklore thing for the, like, vampires. Like, it's their OCD. So like, yeah, because I learned that in an episode of X-Files because he had Mulder had his sunflower seeds, and he was about to get eaten by this kid vampire, so he threw those. And he also realized they have to untie like knots. So like if you have your shoes tied, that has to come loose. So yeah, it's like a weird like OCD thing. Oh yeah, the leprechaun just lost his hand. Very like Evil Dead 2 style.
Oh, and here comes the hand back. Hey.
Need a hand?
Apparently, leprechauns only drink beer and whiskey, which is something I never knew. They can only be found in Ireland.
Oh, so this movie's bullshit.
Burrow deep in underground caves with entrances hidden as rabbit holes, are found in the hollow trunk of a fairy tree. Apparently, which is something I never knew before.
What was it that they only drink?
Whiskey and beer.
That sounds like Josh Parks.
Yes.
That sounds like our friend Josh Parks.
Dude, Josh Parks has some gold, I bet.
I think I saw him hiding in the woods, stashing something in a tree one day.
Oh.
I don't know. It could have been pornography. I don't know. I'm just saying.
And this is also one of those first horror movies I think I ever remember being like, they have a cell phone and everything. And it's like they had to come up with reasons why the cell phone would stop working. And so you see, she just said, my battery died.
Right.
Which in those flip phones, those old flip phones, man, those batteries did die often. That's for sure.
See, I didn't get a phone, a cell phone till 2001. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of money in the Ramsey household before then. Oh, but that's another thing too. One of the Leprechaun's special traits. He can mimic all sorts of voices.
I love that.
Now, if he loves gold so much, isn't he in the wrong business? If he can throw his voice and change and like do all sorts of like he can sound like whatever. I mean, I mean,
that's true.
The possibilities are endless to be making money off of that.
Also, another thing that I don't know if you guys know. So, at least what we were told here, the origins of wearing green for St. Patrick's Day. I know it's like an Irish color, or it's whatever. It's part of the flag and this and that. So one of the reasons we were told that you wear green on St. Patrick's Day is because you were invisible to leprechauns when you wear green, and they won't pinch you.
Yeah. So I've heard about
this. Yeah, there was always this thing here, like where they would like pinch you on the back and pinch the back of your leg and stuff like that, and it was like them basically messing with you. And a way to avoid that would be to wear something green. So, like a lot of people over here get actual shamrock, like not like a fake, like actual shamrock, and they put a pin in it and put it on their shirt.
Oh yeah, okay,
so you have like this like wet, like with like dirt and muck. And you would put it on your clothes and you would go to mass or go to church or whatever. And you would wear that for the entire St. Patrick's Day. And then that way the leprechauns wouldn't fuck with you.
Wow.
Yeah, some people still do it.
Because if a leprechaun cannot see green, that makes me think they're colorblind to green.
And it's really bizarre considering like that they're always depicted as wearing green outfits.
Yeah, so I can't see what I'm even wearing. I don't know. It looks dark gray. I don't know. But yeah, I did because the whole thing was like, yeah, if you don't wear green, you're gonna get pinched. I didn't realize that was because of the leprechaun. I just thought like someone's going to pinch you. That you're not wearing green, I'm pinching you now. I didn't realize it was because they're afraid of a monster pinching them.
And it's so weird because like now when I say it to you guys, I'm like, nobody ever questioned that. It was just like, yeah, no, I got it. Yeah, where's your green? Where's your shamrock?
Now, did any like over here? Did you? Oh, you're not wearing green, and you pinched them or okay?
And it's strange because like I think everybody kind of knew, like, well, everybody knows that like leprechauns aren't real, but it was still like this weird tradition where it was like, oh, why aren't you wearing green?
Right. That actually happened at the party the other night.
Yeah,
because it was called the anti St. Patty's, but still wear green though.
Jeez, it's taking forever to bring the pail up.
I mean, she is method.
They could have caught that a little bit.
Yeah,
they could have. See, that's one of the aspects I really do like about this movie, the rotoscoping of there it is, the green glows, the blues, the pinks, the purples. I love it. I wish I had someone that looked at me like the leprechaun looks at his bag of gold.
I think my favorite thing about the leprechaun is his walk and his little jig back and forth.
Yeah.
That like hobbling thing that he does.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes the counting. And
this just reminds me of a little kid, like, oh, look what I got on Halloween. Oh, yeah. Checking the bag. See, I wish they could have gone more like with everyone holed up in the house, more like Night Living Dead, like boarded it up and stuff like that. Make it feel like it's like, oh yeah, like you don't want that thing coming in here, because it feels more like the gate. They're going in, they're going out. They're in the house, they're outside the house. Oh, but this is what. Oh, right.
He only has 99.
I got 99 problems and my coin ain't one.
Nice.
They've got
That
me
was the
coin.
tagline, was it?
Yeah,
Pardon?
I was going to say that was the tagline for the movie.
No.
It probably was for some of the later movies.
That would have been awesome.
One.
That would be awesome. The movie's supposed to be taking place in Nebraska, right? But this was that's the second time he gets you with the switcheroo. He popped out of it. Good
If
Lord.
you look closely there as well, you can see his prosthetic face.
Yeah.
On the side.
We're cooking now. Jesus Christ.
Also, I think this is the same house that was used in parts of Little House on the Prairie.
Yes. Yeah, it was called Big Sky Ranch. Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons were shot here. Oh, he's up in the cupboard. And Warwick Davis, he had an autobiography called Size Matters Not. And he said the experience on this location, quote, felt a little blasphemous because it was such a pure television shows were shot here. Did he just fill up Nathan's crotch? Did I just miss that? He grabbed the dude by his junk. I think he did.
Yeah.
I love as well how we're in this house, and for some reason it never feels like we're in the same room.
Oh yeah.
Somehow. But it's a bungalow. There's probably like 4 or 5 rooms.
Yeah, it looks small. It's almost like it's like the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside, but it looks tiny on the outside.
Is the sequel to this the one where he goes to Vegas?
That's 3.
Yeah, that's 3.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what 2 is.
Oh, he gets married, doesn't he? Or something? Is he looking for a wife? I think because the second one shows him living in a tree stump. And he has this weird underground like hobbit cave. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As soon as you said he gets married, I'm like, who is he getting married to? Greta from Gremlins 2?
I think he tries to pick like an actual, like a full size, like a normal bride.
Mm-hmm. Every time you think this little guy is dead,
on the ground.
He doesn't look real.
Yeah, it's just hilarious looking.
Look at that hair. Oh man. I'm getting hints of the movie Demon Wind also from these shots.
Oh yeah. 100%. And you're also kind of getting, I mean, it must have, how tough would it have been to be an actor playing it straight, you know, to be afraid of this thing, you know? It's
well,
I mean, I'd probably laugh every time he, like, you know, ran across the room. Well, a skateboard, right?
Oh yeah, he keeps on going back and forth. See, now that's the toy, the action figure. He has a skateboard and he has a tricycle you can put him on.
Yeah, a pogo stick.
And then you have the variant, the collector's one where he has the little car.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that has 2 different covers, the original cover and then the death cover with the pitchfork on the front. Mm-hmm. That's how you do it.
So the plot for the sequel is,
oh, you look at, okay, good.
On his 1000th birthday, an evil leprechaun selects the descendant of one of his slaves to have as his bride, leaving it up to the girl's boyfriend to save her. So
there's continuity issues with this, because didn't he just say he was 600 years old with that cop?
I think he did.
Yeah, and I do remember, I think there's a line at the very start of the second movie where he says that he's 2,000 years old. So I'm not sure if we're doing time travel as well.
Sorry, he just came out of the ground like a chud. Like the crazies in Escape from New York. Oh my God.
Where's the rest of me? I mean, the phone's still ringing. You know,
this guy's good. He can call on a phone without having another phone. This guy's good.
Yeah. I mean, at first, he was been kind of playing around with him and stuff. Now he's pissed, man. He wants that coin. Oh no.
Now, come on, we know what that is. That's
Yeah.
that little. It was like the little hand from Scary Movie 2.
We gave him his gold. Oh,
see, now I want to see a director's cut where the leprechaun just waits while he's on the toilet for that coin to come out.
Now, if the leprechaun can kind of transport in the things, couldn't he just transport himself inside of Ozzy and burst out?
Probably. I mean, he just made a little hand come out of the receiver of the phone. I think at this point anything's possible. Yes. I think you're right. I think he could have.
Can I? Oh, I want to say something really bad now, but I don't know if I'll get shit on for spoiling everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what, the movie?
Future movies.
Oh. Well, if you think you're getting in trouble, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't do it. I mean, or if you can tiptoe without giving.
Oh. Are either of you guys gonna watch Leprechaun Returns?
Oh, I'm not.
I'm gonna give it a watch. Yeah, absolutely.
How much do you care about?
I don't mind being spoiled. It's fine.
Okay, so I'm whatever everyone else listens to this. Well, here's a disclaimer now.
Hold on, but spoilers for other movies.
So in Leprechaun Returns, they have Ozzy come back. And it's funny you said that. You must be really smart because the leprechaun comes out of his belly and tears him apart from the inside out and gets the coin.
Okay. I got you. Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh, that's him. Okay. I got it. That makes sense. That's why you have it in the opening scene.
But wouldn't he have passed the coin though?
This is what I don't understand. Did he just continually eat the coin?
He went, what's this? He's very thorough when he checks. Oh, that's got to go back in. It's a family heirloom at this point.
Look, they're distracting him with fucking shoes.
I told you, it's a fetish. This isn't.
I love how he runs to each shoe.
Ooh, gotta clean it.
If he didn't have those shoes he's wearing, yeah. Well, I mean, what was he going to have? Flats? I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, yeah, this whole other sub. I totally forgot about this. She got away. Oh, my gosh.
How ridiculous.
The leprechaun is sketching.
He Marty McFly'd it, man.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, come on. For real?
So dumb. Hey, if you're going to do that in a live action movie, they did this better than they did it in Nothing But Trouble.
I was going to make reference to Nothing But Trouble. Yes.
It's like, let's not even make it good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it gets so much better from here.
It does.
The gift that keeps on giving.
This scene coming up is so silly. Yep, that's how I do it at my job too.
Now the question is, do you leave everything on the desk right in front of you, clearly labeled and marked?
Well, not marked, but clearly in front of me. First off, why would you have the list of everyone who's staying at this convalescence home right in the front? Why would that be like the blotter on the desk? I don't get it.
What?
Excuse me.
Looks like he's wearing leprechaun shoes.
A little bit.
Did he have big buckles?
I didn't see any buckles, but he had these long, pointy black shoes.
I just realized with the ruckus that's about to happen, that security guard really sucks because how the hell did he not hear all this other shit going on?
There's a scene coming up now in a second that's probably one of my favorite scenes in a movie ever.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So ridiculous, and so even the setup.
The shadow.
I do feel like they were self-aware as well because they have those
Oh my
music
God.
stings.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. I mean, and again, very much trying to create that unease by moving the camera. You know.
Oh, the Dutch angles.
Yeah.
This scene. Oh my God, I love it.
This is the scene they showed on that the talk show with Warwick.
So good.
No one would believe me. Look at that hair. Oh, here we go.
I love how he throws off the disguise as well, just in case.
Like, I don't need this wig anymore. So there probably was a wig that that Mr. O'Grady was wearing.
And I love as well they really went overboard on the Irish accent.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it even better.
Look at them.
They should do this more. They should just speed up every scene in every movie. It just makes it infinitely better.
It does. Yes, it does.
So who would win, Michael Rooker in Days of Thunder or Leprechaun?
Oh, the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Look at him, Jesus. I'm wondering if anyone on YouTube has edited this with the Benny Hill yakety sax.
I'm sure.
And if they haven't, oh, they're gonna have to. This, and he's still alive.
Yeah. How do you kill a leprechaun?
That hair.
Yes. The wheelchair scene we just watched. Apparently Warwick Davis, he did most of his own stunts because of his size. I think it was kind of be probably hard to find a double to work for him. But he said, you know, of course, one of the most memorable stunts is the is the wheelchair scene. But due to his inability to control the wheelchair, the scene had to be filmed with Jennifer Aniston running in slow motion. But I think she was mostly running in place because that didn't look like slow motion to me. This was this was done to keep pace and with her in the wheelchair. But it did, I think they just sped up the camera on him. Well, the film rather.
Jeez, he's really committing.
Jesus,
that wheelchair, man. I'm telling you.
If it has wheels and he had it, he was using it, he will not give it up unless it somehow gets destroyed and does its job. That's ridiculous.
But we just found out how to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I forgot how much we like move around in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, here she's looking for the 4-leaf clover. You know,
I love how there's a green light on it.
And that's how you kill. It's got to touch them, and then you can kill them. You know, that's
It's just that one patch as well. Everything else is completely barren.
Yeah.
Little girl.
Does the leprechaun curse?
Yeah. I don't think
know if he
has.
did or not.
Yeah.
That's more of a that's more of a Chucky thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
That's something I was going to bring up. Actually, that's been in and out of boardrooms, I think, over the years. Chucky versus Leprechaun.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And apparently, the problem was Lionsgate and Universal couldn't agree who they wouldn't 50-50 it. Each of them were making a case for saying that the other one would bring more of whatever. And I mean,
they just want a bigger piece of the pie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do think if you were going to go for IP alone, you would surely have to give Chucky more.
Yeah.
Than Leprechaun.
Yeah.
But anyone hearing that, I just heard, I never even, just hearing that now, I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer. It just makes sense.
So
you just put the door off the cop.
So what would be the plot of Chucky?
That's something I was just thinking about.
Yeah, I'm guessing that somehow Charles Lee Ray, before he went into the body of Chucky, had stolen the Leprechaun's gold.
I had a theory, but I'm not sure how you could do it. So in some of the later Chucky movies, I think it is, he has the amulet of whatever it's called.
Right.
To summon the thing.
Yes.
Somehow you could make out that was made from the Leprechaun's gold or something.
Oh, it had been melted down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Or something like that.
Look at this little dead body. Oh yeah. Because like here's the thing, the Leprechaun has all the like magic stuff. He can teleport. Well, yeah, if he can teleport, he doesn't need to. Why am I trying to put logic into this?
Into a movie called Leprechaun versus
right. But he definitely has more like, if you look at the OP, the overpowered, the kind of things, because Chucky, he's more of like hiding in plain sight. No one expects him until it's too late. So yeah, I don't know. I think there might be a way to. I don't know how to do it, but I think you'd want to do those attributes, and then it's just like the third act is just like King Kong versus Godzilla.
Right.
But you even have a set that looks like a city, but they're
you
huge
do that.
in it. Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right, so it's
so
like
cool.
A kid has like a model city, or even like a Lego city, right?
Or like it's a toy store
Yeah.
because of Chucky, and they literally are fighting in there like
it writes itself. It
like
writes
two
itself.
kaijus.
Forget
I
it.
want to see that poster.
I mean, they're arguing about finding a fucking 4-leaf clover right here. It's you've lost your face.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And again, the light.
Oh yeah. See, I'm a sucker for those kind of special effects. Here we go. You never expect 2 bales of hay for him to pang.
Pick on someone your own size. Okay. Oh, he's gonna put his head in the trap. I swallowed it.
So in returns they finally they paid off on this.
It's weird, right? They have like a fascination with bellies, I think, as well, because in the second movie a guy gets his gold, I think, and he thinks he has the 3 wishes, and he wishes to have the gold or something like that.
Oh,
And,
he's using his buckle.
He puts the pot of gold inside the guy's stomach, and then so it's like growing from inside of him, the pot of gold, and then he's like, what do you wish now? And he's like, oh, get it out, I want you to get it out. And then he uses his nail to tear the guy's stomach open and pull the pot out.
And there you go. He just shot the leprechaun with the clover. There you go.
This scene here when he falls back. Now this reminded me of Gremlins.
Yes.
When Stripe was melting at the end.
Now we've got purple.
Yeah.
Now, notice this. There's a gaff here, an oopsie daisy, if you will. That well, look at it. It's going to be from different angles, and after the aftermath, it's going to look a lot different. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah. Oh God.
He still wants his gold.
That's straight up. That's straight up from Gremlins.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Wait, that's actually kind of horrifying.
Oh no, that is. Well, we don't want to drink out of this well ever again.
Could they have made that well look any more fake?
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm like, that was carved out of styrofoam. You could just look at because it looks too nice. It looks too professional. Yeah. Okay, now I expect a little flame. Boom! Apparently, they've been drinking nitroglycerin out of there for years. Oh my God.
That reminds me, and that happens so much in movies like this, where I watched Uncle Sam last night, and there's a scene where a guy shoots like an old style cannon, a cannonball out of a cannon, and it hits the villain or the killer. And when it hits him, he falls into the front door of the house, and the entire mansion explodes. And like this explosion goes on for probably 15 seconds. It's just like we never questioned it back then. It was like, yeah, no, that's.
I mean, that's how it goes, man. I mean, don't you know? Everything's made out of flammable, explosive materials.
And that is not the same hole that we just saw the well.
It is not. It is definitely not. Nope. There it is.
And there you have it. The leprechaun vows to come back to get his gold.
Yeah. So and what was part 2 again? So when he returns, what was that again?
He is looking for a wife, basically.
Oh, okay. And then 3 is when he goes to Vegas.
Yeah. So number 3 then is an evil leprechaun finds himself in Las Vegas, where he proceeds to cause mischief by killing people, granting twisted wishes, and infecting a young man with his green blood. I don't remember that part, but okay. I thought he was in Vegas because of money or gold.
Yeah. I'm going to the gold nugget. I'm going.
Yeah. Number 4 in space. Our deadly leprechaun is in space to woo a beautiful princess who is impressed with his gold.
Yes.
And desires to separate it from him.
So he an alien.
That movie.
It's my bane.
Oh my God. Like, it has to be one of the worst movies of all time.
I don't know. I'm looking behind me. I got quite a few back here.
God.
I would be remiss if I didn't hit you with reviews about the movie.
Yes.
When this came out.
Please tell us. Yes.
Shocker. Most of the reviews were negative upon its release. Who knew? Chris Hicks of the Deseret News said the film should have been released direct to video. He described the leprechaun similar to Chucky from Child's Play and described the film's humor as, quote, ill-advised slapstick. Hicks wrote that Mark Jones, the director, is this is not nice, is bereft of ideas and should go back to his day job, describing the plot as a by the numbers killings with no rhyme or reason. That wasn't very nice. That wasn't very nice at all. Mark Savlov of the Austin Chronicle called it cliched, uninteresting, and, quote, an utter waste of perfectly good Kodak film stock. Matt Boreali of the Chicago Tribune wrote that the film has brought new meaning to the term bad.
No.
Robert Strauss of the Los Angeles Daily News called it as witless and worthless a horror film as could possibly be conjured. Strauss identified the same theme. Identified the theme as anti-greed, but said the writing is simultaneously prosaic and murky, causing Mark Jones to miss his mark. Oh, wow, witty. Critic Ron Weiskind of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette called the film incompetent, and criticized the film's acting, lack of suspense, and production values. Weiskind concluded, "Forget about the proverbial pot of gold. The movie I can't even talk. The movie Leprechaun is a crock." He also said that Jennifer Aniston's character, a quote Beverly Hills brat who audiences will want to die.
Well, there you go. They did hit that nail on the head. Absolutely.
Michael Wilmington of the Los Angeles Times called the cast the usual all formula grab bag. Wilmington wrote that while a killer leprechaun logically follows a trend of gimmicky antagonist, it is still a bad idea, and the film, quote, isn't dumb enough to be fun. Jesus. Wilmington described it as a dingy, drab, pointless little movie made without flair or imagination, seemingly I can't even talk. Sorry, give me a second. I do apologize. Exhausted by its own bad taste and low intentions. Now, this is later on down the road. Internet-based critic James Barandinelli called it unwatchable and not even enjoyably bad, and also described the characters as a group of morons who act like they flunked kindergarten. But said Aniston might be competent in a better film. He called the Leprechaun's one-liners more idiotic than pithy. Good Lord. I couldn't find any nice reviews. I couldn't find anyone saying, I liked it. Vincent Canby of the New York Times called Leprechaun no more than dangerously cranky and reminiscent of Chucky from Child's Play. A lot of critics kept on comparing this to Child's Play and the Leprechaun to Chucky. But yeah. I tried to find something from Roger Ebert. I don't think he reviewed it at all. I don't think it even popped up on his radar. I even tried to go back and look for a Siskel and Ebert at the movies. But for 1993, because they always did their top 10 worst movies of the year that they didn't like, I'll give you what they had for their top 10 worst films of 1993. The Beverly Hillbillies, Connoisseur, Coneheads, Cop and a Half, which had Burt Reynolds and a little kid, Dangerous Game. I don't know who was in that. Hocus Pocus made their list, which is like, people love that movie. Another movie called The Opposite Sex, Robin Hood Men in Tights, The Vanishing, and Super Mario Brothers movie. So that was the top 10 worst of 93 from Siskel and Ebert. But yeah, I don't know. Watching with you guys, I liked it better than watching it by myself.
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised. Like, I'm genuinely surprised that there was so many bad reviews.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's funny. I'm just looking here on YouTube movies as well. You can like and dislike videos on that, but nobody ever does because you just rent them and nobody cares. It's not like a normal YouTube video. Right. But I see this movie actually has 20 dislikes, which I don't think I've ever seen while renting a movie on YouTube. Again, like, I mean, it's a fucking movie about a killer leprechaun. In fairness, like, what did you expect? Like, I mean, and it was like we talked about at the start. I'm not sure if they had went down the original route, and I do think that Mark Jones, like I said, he had a strict horror, no funny bits, like no one-liners, nothing to start with. The fact that when he sat down with Warwick, they decided, no, this is not the route we need to go down. We need to change that. I mean, I think they kind of done the right thing.
I agree.
Yeah. Because like these technical reboots like Origins and Returns, are
Mhm.
those does those have any funny parts in them?
Returns does. That's very good.
Yeah.
But what
again,
about
right,
Origins?
It's oh god.
Is it just straight like we're a horror movie?
So
Nothing's funny about this.
Yeah, Origins just, I mean, yeah, they were like, we're gonna make it, and you barely, I mean, if at all, ever see the leprechaun creature, right, Aaron?
Well, I even questioned, like, I was like, is it even a leprechaun? 'Cause,
Right.
like, they make it out to be some weird, like, fucking like dog creature thing.
And that's where you learn where you don't really see Hornswoggle. It's Hornswoggle just does the voice, and I believe the voice is just grunting, right? I mean, that's really, yeah.
Yep.
I could have done that job.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes. So I mean,
you see, it's a leprechaun dog monster that grunts.
Right.
Take my money.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know now it's a cult classic, but I don't know how it gets so much shit, to be honest. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's a movie about a leprechaun, so can't take it that serious.
Yeah. And I remember it was around the same time too that I was talking to Rodney about this last night, that Wayne's World 2 mentioned the leprechaun in their movie when Wayne's scaring Garth with the flashlight. I'm the leprechaun. Stop it, Wayne. Stop it. So I mean, even then, yeah, I think it's like everyone knew what it was, like you said, but it was like, yeah, it was a leprechaun. I mean, there it is. Why are you going to question? I mean, I can understand, like, at the time it was like Steven Spielberg presents Leprechaun. Yeah, you're going to expect something different, but yeah, this wasn't that. It's a horror movie.
Yeah, and I don't think it was like, unless you thought that the intention was for it to be a straight horror movie, like to the point where, like, even the jump scares weren't really jump scares.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe if you went in thinking that that's what you were getting, at least you might have been a little bit disappointed. But, like, I mean, come on, like, what?
It's we've watched other movies where they just got eviscerated by critics, and it's like it's easy fodder. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know what? I got to write something. I'm not going to say it's good, because that'll ruin my reputation. So they just used it like to kick the dog.
One thing I don't think a lot of people realize about the movie Leprechaun is kind of like Critters or
Ghoulies.
This is one of those movies that can get a younger person kind of into horror, right? It's it can be one of those movies that kind of bridges that gap into I mean, it's a horror movie, straight up. It's not terrifying, though.
What do the ultra conservatives call marijuana? Gateway drug.
Exactly.
It's a gateway movie in a horror.
It is. It is, in a way. It's like, you watch this, then maybe you can work your way up to like Nightmare on Elm Street,
or Cannibal Holocaust,
right? Going from 0 to 60 real
quick.
Yeah, but if you've got a friend that is one of those friends that says, I don't like horror movies, this could be one that you show to them, and that they could probably watch, and because it's one that you make fun of while you're watching it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a group watching experience. Yeah, the more people, the better. Just so, it's a spectacle, but it can be fun. Yeah.
Very cool. So that's it, man. St. Patrick's Day. We got the Leprechaun. Time to crack open a couple more beers. Maybe get some Proper Number 12. Listen to some Cranberries and some House of Pain.
If you're in your car, do not drink while you're listening to this.
Absolutely.
If you're in your car, just listen. Don't drink. be responsible.
Right. And may the luck of the Irish be with you. Aaron, you already are there, so you kind of already have that.
That's debatable.
Ask me post-COVID.
Yes.
Ask me post-pandemic.
Yeah, we'll see. The luck doesn't seem to be rubbing off right now.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. As always, please check us out on our socials. Plastic Fangs Podcast on Facebook and at Plastic Fangs Podcast on Instagram, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
At Plastic Fangs Pod on Twitter and all that good stuff. Aaron Doyle, Class Horrorcast.
Yeah, ClassHorrorcast.com is probably where you'll find everything. The podcast is all hosted through that now.
Oh yeah, that sexy new website you got, man.
Yeah, it's not great, but I mean, I'm getting there.
Oh, it's better than ours, which is still being transferred.
What do you mean ours?
We're still waiting on the transfer from GoDaddy to Weebly, but that's all right,
But I'm not complaining.
But drop your others, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm most active on Instagram, really. That's under First Class Horror. And for anyone who's listening to this, if you haven't already, I'll have a mini episode out at this point as well. It's only like 5-10 minutes long, where I run through all the rumored or cancelled Leprechaun sequels.
Nice.
So there's some fun ones in there. There's Vamprechaun, which we've talked about, and there's a reboot that was supposed to be by the original team. There is one of my favorite ones is Leprechaun versus Wishmaster. Which there's actually a trailer for, which I'm going to post on Instagram this week.
Nice.
Dude, that's not a bad concept because they grant wishes. That's really smart.
Yep. Leprechaun versus Candyman was another one, because both of them, I think, at one point were owned by Lionsgate. And the only thing that stopped the entire thing was Tony Todd was like, nope, I'm not cheapening Candyman. And they didn't want to make a movie without him.
Right.
And he just said, I'm not cheapening the character by doing a movie with Leprechaun. So what's the dynamic between a guy who barely talks and then this like little smart mouth fucking funny Leprechaun? How are we going to
Yeah, because one is kind of also doing like a cultural like like, hey, we're kind of making a statement too. This little guy is saying, "Where's my call?"
I get after doing research, I didn't like. I go as far as to say this is probably the franchise or the character that's had like the most ridiculous
matchups
scenarios.
Yeah, like that have actually gone somewhere. Like been greenlit and cancelled after the fact, or had gotten to a point where executives were actually talking about it.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how ridiculous. I mean, if I was a studio, I personally, I don't think I would even entertain those questions.
But that tells you, like, I mean, this is just one franchise, one character. Think of all the other movies that these same things are like we don't even know about from in the public aspect. It's like these conversations are happening all the time. What if we did this? What if we did that? I mean, it reminds me of like, okay, who can we put Abbott and Costello with? Which monster?
Right.
Because when you think about that sounds crazy, but those were considered monster movies, So yeah, it's, I mean, it hasn't changed. It's just new ideas, but it's the same thing. Who can we mash up? Yeah.
Yeah. The big one, I think I'm still annoyed that we never got was the Freddy, Jason, and Ash movie.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. That I would watch that if it was animated. I don't care if it was CGI or like a cartoon. If it was done, I would watch it in 2 seconds. There's no question. Yeah.
Well, they did the comic book version of it, and that's what I think the script, the comic was the actual script of what the movie was going to be, and
right.
I mean, I would have definitely watched it.
Here, just the animated Freddy with Robert Englund and animated Ash with Bruce, dude. I mean, that would have been awesome.
Have you guys read the comics?
I have.
I read like the first five pages.
What's the like quick breakdown of what the setup is? Or can you remember?
Well, I know that the girl from the first one that survived goes back to Crystal Lake and is killed
by Jason right off
Jason.
the bat.
It's like, and then I believe it's been a while since, but I could like that the
Necronomicon's incorporated, of course. Yeah. Somehow Ash is working at S-Mart. All this past stuff had happened, but he was like, and I think they go to the cabin again, but I can't remember if it was somehow that cabin is near Crystal Lake. I forgot if that's the scenario, but yeah, it's been years. Are you looking it up, Ronnie?
Yeah, I mean,
it is, I think, nearly the exact same story. I also have another mini episode coming out probably in the next week or so, where I read as much of the script that was put out there. There was like a small, like 4 or 5 page treatment. It sounds exactly like what you guys are talking about.
Well, I mean, and essentially what it is that Freddy's actually trapped in Jason's mind. And he learns that the Necronomicon is actually hidden in the old Voorhees home. And they're trying to get the Necronomicon so he can, come back. And of course, Ash Williams is called to work at the new Crystal Lake S-Mart. So that's how he kind of gets brought in there. Freddy uses the Necronomicon to restore himself to full power and increase Jason's intelligence. And of course, they fight and all that.
Shenanigans and tomfoolery ensue.
Right. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's definitely it's feasible, for that to happen. Of course, they did a sequel to it, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, the Nightmare Warriors, which was another miniseries that picked up where it left off, and it had other characters from the film. So I mean, they kind of went with it. I think at one point they wanted Pinhead in it, and I think it gets to the point where you start wanting to pit these characters. I mean, there was one bring in Leatherface, let's kind of take all of these classic kind of slashers and stuff, and I think if there's a good story, why not do it? It's like we had talked about it before. How cool would it be to have like a Monster Squad type of thing where you have Freddy, Chucky, Jason, Leprechaun, just bring them all in, and have a group of kids fight them all. I don't know, shit. But
what do you want from me? I don't know.
Exactly. But
get off my back. You figured out Hollywood.
But I mean, what is great though is April, we're looking at we're halfway to Halloween, and the great thing about horror is that really you can get for every month there's something that's great for horror, like Valentine's Day for February and all of that. And this is just something that the movie Leprechaun and all the Leprechaun movies have kind of become a part of that St. Pat's tradition. I even had a pint glass that I actually lost when I moved last time that had the Leprechaun's face on it. So you can enjoy a green beer and watch Leprechaun, in the pint glass and everything. But yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about horror. And, we get 12 months out of the year. October, of course, being the creme de la creme of horror months, the zenith that we're all looking forward to, especially when you live in the Halloween 365 lifestyle. But we're halfway there, and what a way to take out March with being afraid of someone who wants their gold. That's all they want.
And to clean your shoes.
Yes.
Clean your shoes, would you?
All right. Well, happy St. Patrick's Day to all of our listeners. Once again, Aaron Doyle.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure,
Thanks
sir.
very much. This has been really fun. And I hope everyone's blessed with Luck of the Irish. I'm going to bless everyone now.
There you go. All right. So
it's official because Aaron did it.
Yes.
Yeah, damn
it. So with that, we're going to end it. Aaron, go ahead and take us out, sir.
Oh, God.
I know you love being put on the spot.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll just say Slán go fóill and see if people can figure out what that means.
Try as they will, and try as they might. Who steals me gold won't live through the night. Do you like the gold buckles on me shoes?
I want me gold now!
Your wife makes a fine pot of tea, Danny, me boy.
Where did you get that?
I'll fix it, you bastard!